Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Techcast, the 429 podcast. I'm 4,
I'm two.
And I'm 9.
and we've got another exciting week of tech news for you. Once again, remember to check us out in our socials at the 429 podcast on all major social media platforms. You can also find us at the429podcast.com, where you can see all of our episodes and Techcasts and whatnot. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Right
So-
to the news.
Really, it was not all that eventful of a week, but there's a couple of
What are you talking about?
interesting articles I'd like to go
Sure.
over here.
There's one big thing we gotta go right away.
All right, go ahead then. What is it?
Black Friday week. Black Friday week, baby. It's deals all around. Deals spectacular. We got deals from Macy's.
Yes, forget
Macy's,
nine.
Best
Nine,
Buy.
nine loves his deals. All right,
This
Nine.
is-
How about this? Ready, Nine? What is your biggest deal for the week? What was it?
Okay. I got a top line. We got AirPods that are at 110. That was a great deal. We also got AirPods Pro 180. That was an amazing deal. Let's not forget wireless Xbox controllers. The new one, I'm talking about Series X and S for $40. That is spectacular for a console that just came out. A lot of Nintendo games were actually on sale for the first time in my life. I saw Switch games for as low as $30. I'm talking about top of the line AAA games like Legend of Zelda and Luigi Mansion. Those games are great.
Wait, you mean Ocarina of Time is $40 or $30?
No, Link's Awakening.
Link's
The one
Awakening,
that one that just came out 2 years ago. Last year actually. Already $30. That's a hell of a deal. If you
That
ask
is
me.
a pretty good deal. Dang, I might have to sneak in on one of those.
I'm talking about great deals allure. This year was pretty good, I would say. And there was one that I missed out last week. They had a 4K TV Series 4 TCL for $150. I'm talking about 4K TV with HDR for only $150.
What size?
55 inches.
Oh goddamn! Wow.
That was a
is pretty
great
good
deal. It sold out in 1 minute. Couldn't get it.
Yeah, you gotta watch out though, right? Like a lot of those big TV deals are not as good as they seem. Like I know we used to get TVs in, and like they're like holiday special editions, and like really they're just like garbage.
It's a TCL TV, so it's not like it's gonna blow over Samsung's competition in one afternoon. But for that price alone, $150,
Can't go wrong.
you just can't go wrong. It's so cheap that it's like, why the hell not? That's why everyone bought it.
Yeah, that's better than the Super Bowl deals I tell you guys every year that are always really good. So
Yeah, Black Friday. I always say this every time for everyone listening. You want to get one tip out of this? If you're looking for a TV, wait for Black Friday. That's really where all the best TV deals are. Is Black Friday.
And, what's funny about Black Friday too is like, at least more recently, most Black Friday deals last for like the entire week before and after Black Friday. It's like it's like
Yeah,
Black Friday
honestly.
like month really.
Really much the Black Friday deals pretty much start now. Every year it gets earlier and earlier, just like Christmas. This year actually started pretty early. I think part of it due to the pandemic, and part of it now there's a big emphasis online, where it used to be kind of some on physical store busters. Now most of it's online. I saw a lot of Black Friday deals starting like beginning of November. No joke. Of course, some of the good ones were this week, but still a lot of good ones. Like the TV one I said, that was last week. That wasn't even this week. So a lot of good deals, and of course we still got Cyber Monday. So
I'm a little upset that a lot of your computing and PC hardware is all out of stock right now, and you can't get any of it. I'm looking at new graphics cards. I'm looking at new certain motherboards.
The demand's pretty high, supply is pretty low. I mean, you can also say the same thing about the new console games, PS5, Xbox Series X. Those things have been actually dropping, but unlike the graphics cards, they actually been getting in stock I haven't seen one 370 get in stock yet.
3070, 3080, 3090, they're nowhere to be found. They're nowhere in sight unless you're willing to spend
They never
twice,
existed.
unless you're willing to spend twice what they're worth. Like you're just not getting one.
Whatever. But that's Black Friday. Great deals allure. Sad my holiday's ending. I pretty much have nothing else to look forward to. There's some holiday called Christmas that some people look forward to, but not really my cup of tea. Too festive, too hot.
Yeah.
So,
Also, hope you guys all had a very good Thanksgiving for our U.S. based listeners.
oh yes, I forgot that existed.
Really enjoyable holidays, so hope you did as well.
It was a good week.
Let's get right into some news here. So this is not going to come as a surprise to any of you guys, but another Facebook fine for sharing user data without consent. So South Korea has fined Facebook. Let's see, it's $6.1 million. That's about 6.7 billion won for sharing their user information without consent. And this is actually a long ongoing lawsuit where there's about 3.3 million South Korean users out of like 18 million total users that are involved, but the rest of them aren't based in South Korea. This is ongoing from 2012 to 2018. So this is like ongoing for a while, and originally it started with the Korea Communications Commission, and then they kind of let it off to the PIPC, which is the Personal Information Protection Commission. It's like one of South Korea's privacy like auditing bodies, I guess. And
okay, cool.
I mean, just no surprise, right? Facebook sharing more data without consent. I mean, this just seems like it happens over and over and over again. They continually get these fines, and it just keeps happening.
Hey, guess what? Guess what's gonna happen?
What?
Nothing.
Of course, nothing will happen.
Literally nothing.
What?
Nothing will change.
Nothing?
Same shit.
No.
Over and over again.
No, it's gonna hurt them a little bit.
Well, here's the question, right? How much did they benefit from this versus the $6.1 million fine that they got hit with? I mean, if they benefited like $100 million and they're only getting fined $6 million, of course they're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, right? Like, what did they gain versus what did they lose? That's like
the
what
problem.
you really be looking at.
The problem is that when you're dealing with information, it's hard to say with a significant ounce of credibility that what they gain, because information itself is so hard to value.
Then they should just
properly.
hit him with a massive, massive fine for violating things like that.
Bankrupt them.
Right? You just got to make the fines and penalties so harsh that they won't even think about doing it.
Yeah, pretty much that's another thing. I mean,
Hit
to be honest,
it where it hurts, Mark. Ask for some equity real quick.
to be honest, I mean, like for most companies, this would be a big fine, but we're talking about Facebook, so they're gonna have to up the ante a little bit more.
Right, and let's think about this too. Like when you think about like trading and the penalties for like insider trading, like you're getting jail time for that. Like there's no, these are big penalties. So like how can you, share data without consent and break all of these privacy rules and regulations and just get $6.1 million fine on a hundreds of billions of dollars worth of companies? It just doesn't make sense.
You're asking how? Just just shoot Mark an email real quick. Be like, hey, you did it again. Why?
I did. Sorry,
it won't happen again.
Exactly.
Blah, 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 blah.
my bad.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys know my opinion on all this. I'm very into cyber. I like privacy, and I just wish that they had better controls for making sure that companies do right by the data they're collecting. But
Definitely, I also agree with you with that. But some things just don't change unless strict action is taken.
What do you guys think it would take to get this really locked down and to stop?
Look, you gotta hit these guys where it hurts, right? If they break a data privacy law, they break anything, I think it should be a personal consequence on, Facebook's equity or Apple's equity, or Apple never really does it, but like Facebook's equity or Google's equity or something like that. Like you need to hit these corporations where it hurts, and where it hurts is their wallets and their equity stakes.
Yep.
If their equity stakes start to transfer over more and more, I don't know, to the public markets or to the government, I don't know what it may be, right? I don't know where that money would go. But once you start affecting the equity stakes, and that's targeting the personal, wealth in a way of those CEOs and those big founders, then you got their attention. But until that happens, you don't really have their attention.
Yeah, true.
I think also jail time would be not a bad idea too, like you mentioned earlier. Like nothing really scares these people straight with like a little bit of jail time.
Yeah, well, can we at least get the Equifax guys in jail? Like, come on, bro. Like, seriously, my social security number's still out there.
I mean, we start somewhere. And like we said, we can't make these changes until proper cases are handled properly, like this one, of course. So yeah.
So definitely. Never.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. Anyway, another very cool article coming out this week. So this is a little bit different, but a Japanese spacecraft carrying asteroid soil samples is on its way home right now. So this is
Japanese.
It's the Hayabusa 2 spacecraft. It left for.
I like I see you've been practicing your Japanese.
It left for asteroid Ryugu, and that's about 180 million miles away. And it left about a year ago, and it's expected to reach Earth and drop a capsule containing the precious samples in southern Australia on December 6th. So, I mean, they're hoping to kind of get these soil samples and see like what kind of elements does the asteroid contain, like what's up there, and maybe we'll be able to tell.
Spoiler alert! It's gonna have carbon.
Probably. I wouldn't.
Is this the same asteroid that was like worth like more than the economy, or are we talking about?
I don't know if that's the same asteroid, but I don't think so.
I can see why if it's that one.
Yeah. But anyway,
Then
obviously they're hoping to kind of just get an idea about like what kind of are the makeups of our universe, right? Like what would be like what are the very bare bones things that our entire solar system was made out of, right? So
I don't. I'm a kind of a betting man, but I'm gonna say carbon.
I just said that.
Yeah. But I said it first.
and one of the big scientists, this is a quote from him. He goes, "We are hoping to find clues to the origin of life on Earth by analyzing details of the organic materials brought back." So, who knows? Maybe they'll find that carbon and they'll be able to put some, clues together in terms of why does Earth have life.
Guys, we discovered carbon. They all scream.
So
Everyone else
pretty
goes,
cool.
"Oh."
What do you guys think about all these
Again?
space exploration things that have been going on? I feel like that's kind of a hot topic recently, especially like SpaceX and, I know
I think
NASA's been back at it.
I think it's long overdue. I always thought like by this time we would have been like literally.
I
on
thought we
Mars.
would have been on Mars by now.
Yeah, like I thought, or at least like have like a actual permanent base in like the moon, like something like that. That would have been like something cool.
I mean,
feel
have
like-
you guys seen Xenon, that moon movie? I kind of don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Oh come on, moon people! What they gonna do? Throw cheese at us?
I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly. That's one way to find out.
Because the moon's
We
made
go
of
to the
cheese, right?
moon.
Yeah.
We go to the moon and we suffer through it. Nothing. We can't. The part about exploration too is about the dangers too. We just can't stop because we think of potential danger. We got to go all the way.
Yeah.
I think there should be more of it. Plus, we already saw that there's economic interest in it too with that big old asteroid. So, I see a lot of more explorations in the future.
Yep, I agree. I would love to see some people on Mars, like
Moon people.
I kind of love space exploration, and like that would be like, if I had to right now, if I had to make a career change, I would probably like to move into like,
Aerospace.
aerospace engineering and like literally rocket science. Like that's another field that is like super interesting to me.
I have a buddy trying to go into that. It's really interesting stuff, and bright future for that field. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
we have another kind of futuristic topic. There's a whole bunch of futury topics I was finding this week. I
love it. I love it. Well, maybe this week is the week of being thankful for what we have. So why not look into the future with that in mind?
Absolutely. So this is a kind of a research effort that the U.S. Army is now funding. So the U.S. Army is now researching telepathy. It's like brain signal communications and whatnot. So the U.S. Army Research Office, they put about $6.25 million in funding for the next 5 years in this, what they call moonshot research, which, essentially means that, like, you're really reaching for the sky for this. Like, the odds of it actually yielding anything are low, but in the event that it does yield something, it'll be well worth the couple $1 million they're putting towards it.
Moonshine or moon?
Moonshot.
Moonshot. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
that-
Google's. It's like
Could have been very
Google-
different. Could have been a very different experiment.
Yeah.
It's like Google. It's like Google's X, right? Like how it's a moonshot type of experiment.
And the main basis of this research is they're going to be trying to use some algorithms and like mathematics to kind of separate brain signals. So they want to separate ones that are kind of useless and don't matter to us from ones that are what they call influence action or behavior signals. So if they're able to kind of separate the brain signals out and detect what is what, and then kind of decode it, that would be kind of, I guess, the goal of this 5-year project. And in the event that they're able to get any of that done, the next steps would be to actually create some type of brain interface where they can not only, get data in or get data out, but also feed data in. So that's kind of
Interesting.
That's
That's
like I
very
said, that's another really interesting moonshot type of effort, but dope. I think. What do you guys think?
I mean, I kind of have a personal interest in this just because I don't know if I ever told you guys, but my high school research was about analyzing and intercepting brain signals.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really fascinating stuff. And there's a lot of things we don't know. Ironically enough, you would think, that one of our most important organs, the brain. There's just a lot of things we don't know about it as I was looking into it. And I noticed my particular research was based on the fact of how music can create certain signals, and I noticed like certain types of genres invoke very different signals, and I try to analyze the common causality or basically pattern to why these things happen. And there's definitely something there. Of course, I was very limited with like high school budget, so not much I could have done, but very fascinating stuff, very cool stuff. And I honestly think that this is definitely a moonshot kind of thing, but who knows? If anything, it wouldn't reveal its primary objective, but I think it will reveal some sort of objective or goal that we wouldn't even think about that would be highly useful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's definitely a valid point.
We'll see.
All right. Anyway, on to another big tech company related article. Let's move on to Apple here.
Oh,
so I mean, everyone's aware that there's a lot of trade and tensions and stuff going on between the U.S. and China right now, and Apple kind of wants to, I think, escape from some of those tensions. So they're kind of, I think, set to be moving some of their production and factory work into Vietnam now. So I think what they want to do is diversify their portfolio a little bit, so that way in the event that, the trade relations with U.S. and China get worse going forward, they're less reliant on China. So I think this is definitely a good thing. I like to see them have kind of diverse factories, and it protects not only their interests, but they're worth a lot of the stock market in the United States right now, so their interests kind of roll back into the global interests of the country as well. So what do you guys think about that?
I mean, even setting aside the political issues involving this situation, right? I always think, this pandemic has taught us one thing, that having one main source for our manufacturing isn't such a security is a security fault.
Absolutely.
So even aside the political tensions between the two, right, it's just a great idea to just have more locations, more manufacturing, diversify that in case of another pandemic, in case of another problematic China might hit like an earthquake, or China might have a natural disaster on their hands, and that not only will cripple them, but will cripple the rest of the world. It's just a good idea just to diversify that. Just same thing as the whole same reason when you want to diversify your portfolio. Same reason here. Just don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Absolutely.
Type of thing. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good way to looking forward to it.
Too, what about you?
It's interesting, right? I talked to Nine about this earlier, and it was just like, it's interesting that they bring it up because it could really be a whole damper to their competition, right?
Yep.
So it's like, if you're seeing it from a competitive standpoint, from a business standpoint, it's a smart move by Apple because you could really limit their competitors and what their competitors could do. But at the same time, you already have the resources to go and move everything yourself, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens and what comes out of this, but it's definitely something to keep track of moving forward.
One thing also remember is that this might actually help with leaks. A lot of the leaks actually happen because of the Chinese manufacturing.
Yeah.
And, it might not totally prevent leaks. We're always going to have leakers in the thing, but it would totally put a huge damper in the whole leak inside mixes. Usually the reason these leaks happen is because there are these well-established leak businesses in China that kind of know how to get around their restrictions and stuff like that. But if you move the whole manufacturing process to a new country, sure, maybe down the line they're gonna rebuild that kind of side business, but it's gonna take years for them to kind of get that business up and running again. That whole black market thing going up again. Yeah. So it's definitely gonna help Apple with that case too. And they have a lot of leaks. They're one of the biggest leak companies, I think.
Absolutely. All right. Anyway, on to another topic here. Now, this one was really interesting to me. So there's actually a 0-day vulnerability that was recently found in Windows 7 and Windows Server 2008.
Oh my god, my least favorite one.
And this is actually a pretty big 0-day. So essentially the way this would work is hackers are essentially taking over and taking advantage of your Windows monitoring services. So the same services that allow for monitoring to happen on your processes, they can load these DLLs, and the DLLs essentially have code in them that run with certain permissions and privileges, but usually they're restricted and they're loaded with limited privileges. But with this 0-day vulnerability, essentially it allows hackers to load custom DLLs that will run with system-level vulnerabilities, with system-level privileges, which is obviously massively not good. So they really would have pretty much full access to your entire computer. They could do literally whatever they want. Anything they want, it's theirs at that point. So,
to put it in layman terms for anyone who's listening, this is pretty much like giving the keys to your car, or just giving the deed to your house. Just complete total control
Yep. So
of your
Yeah,
it was I mean, I'm thankful that I haven't been on Windows 7 for probably almost 2 years at this point.
Does this
And
affect Windows 8 too? You said
no,
Windows 8?
it's Windows Server 2008.
Ah, okay. I
And
don't think I ever.
this is
I
big
don't know.
because I know a lot of your like corporations and enterprises are still running Windows 7. A lot of places
Yeah, of
are. You know,
course,
it's
yeah. They are.
some
Well, not
places
only
still
does
run
Windows
XP, so
Well, not just Windows 7, but like the Windows Server is what's really worrying me because a lot of educational institutions run that, right?
yep,
Like
Yeah,
we saw it firsthand at our university, like Windows Server was kind of just the first like go-to for that, right?
absolutely.
So I'm
especially
wondering, does it affect just Windows Server 2008 or does it also go into like their other platforms like SQL Server 08 or stuff like that as
Yeah,
well?
I mean
I
that's a
don't know
good
about
point
that.
too. I mean, especially with the server side Windows OSs, those things never get updated because they're not supposed to. They're kind of like built to last, especially, and they're built to be very minimum overhead from user
Mhm.
exports. So usually they just install, they run, no one really touches it until there's an issue, right? So we can very potentially have high probability of many enterprise systems running on Windows 2008
Yeah.
easily. So it's a big thing.
Yep. Anyway, on to the next one here. Let's kind of, we only have about 8 minutes left here, almost about 9 minutes, 8 minutes left. So let's jump into two of our larger articles here.
Ooh.
So
Mm-hmm.
we have two Amazon related articles. One of them is kind of small. The next one is the big one we want to talk about for the week.
Of course,
So-
there's Amazon.
Amazon,
same thing
for
with
those
Apple.
of you who don't know, had a major outage this week. So a lot of their Eastern
That's the
AWS.
small one?
What happened?
That's the small one?
This is the small one, yeah.
Oh my god.
So they had a major outage. It affected services like Roku and Adobe and shipped. I believe they do like
And your
grocery?
smart TVs and your
Yeah.
smart fridges.
there were like
and
there
your
was like
vacuum
hundreds
cleaners.
of services and applications that were down this week because I wanted to say it was AWS's East region had a massive outage. That's where the outage pretty much happened, and a lot of your companies and services are doing stuff in their Eastern region on AWS. So it was funny because if you like scroll through, like Twitter for example, a lot of companies were getting like kind of shade for this. Like someone was going at Roku and was like, we'd appreciate more PR, and then Roku's like shifting blame to Amazon, and then like someone was going at Shipped and they were like seeing a lot of canned responses blaming third parties, and then Shipped is like, listen, like it's an AWS outage, like there's nothing we can do. And it's kind of funny because it just goes to show you how like a lot of the users I don't think completely understand like the infrastructure of these companies and how all of your major services, or at least a lot of them, are reliant on Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud Platform or Microsoft Azure. Right?
Yeah. And that makes you really wonder this thing because from like a business perspective and like a reputational perspective,
Yep.
right? At the end of the day, the reputation for Amazon really wasn't affected by this because they're just a provider. They're just doing whatever they want to do. But all the services that are running on these AWS systems and everything, right, have just gotten a major reputational impact of being unreliable now when it wasn't even their fault, right? Because they were relying on a service that literally has never gone down before.
Yep.
Right? So it's a very interesting standpoint here.
Absolutely. Nine, what do you think?
I think it's really interesting. I think it's pretty much kind of like very similar ways of like what I said earlier about the manufacturing, right?
Yep.
A lot of people blame like if there's a shipping issue, Amazon or Best Buy or all these like Apple, right? But the problem can be very root, like Chinese manufacturing or some sort of offshore manufacturing. But of course, you're not gonna blame those factors. You're gonna blame the services, Apple, Best Buy, stuff like that. So I think a lot of people don't realize the layers of steps that need to be taken to get your product to your home, right? And it's so quickly to point, hey, Roku, hey, I know the one that was big, Roomba. A lot of people were complaining about Roomba. Hey, Roomba, your app's not working. We're sorry, it's AOS. I don't care. Your app's not working. What's going on, Roomba? My little vacuum thing's not doing its spins. Stuff like that. I think, and to be fair, this kind of goes against what I said earlier, how like we have a lot of dependency on one server. Is that a good thing? I mean, this is only, it happens rarely. Like you said earlier, like this is, and usually never goes down, but look how much chaos it causes from just one source. Like a lot of things went down. Things you never thought would go down, like Spark. I wouldn't think Adobe Spark will go down,
Absolutely.
but it did. So like it goes to show like maybe our infrastructure isn't as secure or stable as we think it is. Well, who knows?
Yeah, and this goes back to like I want to say it was last week or 2 weeks ago. Remember when YouTube had that major outage also, and like a ton of other sites were down too. Like we've been seeing a lot of outages recently, and maybe that's because more people are using the internet now than they ever have before.
Hard to say. I mean, I haven't heard any groups. Usually, when there's outages with malicious intent behind it, usually you see one group kind of come up front and claim responsibility for it because they're trying to send a message. But I haven't seen any group say that. So I think these are actually cases of, like you say, especially if you think about it, now they're happening now. I think it's mostly because a lot of people are home now, people with their families.
Exactly, yeah.
Starting to take breaks and vacation. It's like Thanksgiving we just talked about, and if trends continue, I expect more outages Christmas week.
Yeah.
Just all I can say. So download, get some offline access, do whatever you can.
All right. Anyway, we've got 2 big articles left. Let's jump right into this Amazon one, the big Amazon article here. Okay. There's a lot of controversy going on right now with this. So Amazon is set to release this feature called Sidewalk to their Alexa devices. And
I heard about this.
Essentially what this is going to do is it's going to turn your Amazon devices into Wi-Fi networks for the neighborhood that anyone that's walking by will be able to connect to. And here's the key. You have to opt out of it. So this will be enabled by default. So now you have some random dude outside your network connected to your Amazon Alexa device with kind of no real bounds. Now he's using your internet through your service provider, and you're paying for it, and he's getting it for free. Now this is essentially like forcing you to share your Wi-Fi with other people. And I mean, just from a moral standpoint, you have Amazon now trying to tell you how to spend your money, which is not good, because now they're literally in your pocket saying, hey, we're using your internet connection that you pay for to give someone else internet, which is just morally wrong to begin with. But 2, all of these privacy issues as well, right? Like what happens if there's a 0 day that lets someone kind of tunnel their way through the Alexa device and into your main network now? Now you might have some random guy from the street on your main network able to access all of your, internal computers and your IP cameras, maybe see inside your house, listen on your baby monitors. Like it's freaky. It's freaky stuff.
It's already happened. So it's not.
Wait, so can you explain? So Sidewalk is basically doing what exactly?
It's taking your Amazon Alexa device and making it into like optimum Wi-Fi, pretty much, where like anyone can just connect to it and use it freely.
So is that even legal?
I think it is.
I think it is. If they're launching it as a public feature, they probably went through the legal hurdle. So
and you have to opt out of it is the key. It's automatically opted in. So you have to opt out of it if you don't want that to happen on your Alexa devices. And this is exactly why I'll never own one of these.
Yeah, see, we talked about this stuff in the past, right? These features should always be an opt-in, never an opt-out, right? It should never have to be a opt-out feature. It should always be an opt-in feature.
I don't know anyone that would opt into that. I don't know anyone that would opt into that.
Exactly, which is the point. They're
trying to. Why? Exactly, yeah, that's the point. Like,
I heard about this, right? And I'm glad you mentioned this because this is a big privacy thing, and I can already see this going over a lot of people's heads, being like, "Oh, it's a feature. It's gonna help me." Right, and a lot of people don't understand what this really means. And then I read online that someone had a really good analogy for this. Right, picture this. Right, you have 2 pools. One has a fence, an electric fence around it. And the other one has a sign. Right, it just says "Don't go in the pool." Right, there's a malicious user. He wants to poison the pool water. If you poison the one that has a sign, not really protection, that's fine. You're the one with the security electric fence is not gonna get affected. But what this is doing now, imagine those same pools, one with electric fence, one with the sign. But they're connected through a tube underneath, right? That's pretty much the difference now. So if it poisons the pool with the sign, which is easy access because it's just a sign saying don't go in the pool, it now contaminates your highly secured pool water with the electric fence.
Yep. How about this? Right? I think this is another good analogy, right? Instead of it being a tube, how about they use the same filter system? The filter system should filter the poison, so the one that's protected should remain protected, but what if the filter system fails? And that's exactly what would happen. What if Amazon's security features do not work or someone breaks them? Now you're poisoning the other side. Like it just shouldn't happen. That they should not share a filter system. That tube shouldn't exist. Someone on the outside should never have any opportunity to access the inside. And I mean, Amazon's taking massive risks here, which I don't even know why they'd want to do that. Like, think about this. If someone uses that now to break into your network and steal data from you internally, I think Amazon's liable for that. They're going to end up with massive class action lawsuits in that event, in that case.
Well,
And,
here's the thing.
What do they
They're
gain
not
by
liable
sidewalk? They have
because-
nothing to gain.
Well, see, they're not liable because, like you said, it's opt-in or opt-out. So people would have to opt out for them to not get involved in this. Amazon has really put the control in the user, but inadvertently has already opted everyone in. So it's kind of a
I don't think so.
lose
When you
here, too.
automatically opt somebody in, you're liable for that. If Alexa's services break and someone's able to tunnel from their outside sidewalk onto your main network and they steal your data through the Amazon Alexa feature that they opted you into automatically,
I think it really
that there's some
depends. I think it
massive
really
lawsuit
depends.
potential.
I think it really depends. I can see in European courts being like, this is too much. You should have made it defaultly an opt-in feature instead of opt-out feature, right? And because of that, you're liable for the damages. But I can also see this in USA courts being like, well, you gave the user a choice, so I guess it's good enough.
yeah.
And getting passed easily.
Anyway,
So
The
it
way
really
I see
depends, it really depends how
the way I
hard
see it-
politicians want to go
Yeah.
through this, pretty much.
The way I see it, this affects Amazon, based products. I do not own any Amazon-based products besides Prime.
That's
So
why
I hopefully
I
will not
refuse
be
to get any
affected by this.
hardware based on Amazon right now because I know they're going this route, and this just confirms my suspicions that
yeah,
they're definitely going that route.
I'll never
It's not
buy
even
it.
they can even argue. It's not even that they can even argue that the benefits of this feature is even worth it. I mean, like, what is it really even offering? I still don't understand what the real benefit.
Well,
of this
what it offers is mesh Wi-Fi networks for neighborhoods, and so you can actually do a lot more with mesh Wi-Fi networks
yeah,
than you
but
can with traditional networks. But
but like me as an individual who has a private network, right, and has enough, I always account for having enough network for my devices, my home. So, like, how?
well, now you're doing a public service and making sure everyone else can
Oh,
use
well,
Not
it.
they
me.
should-
I'll never
they
buy
should-
an Alexa.
they should-
Never. It will
they should
never be in my
improve their-
house.
They should improve their Wi-Fi coverage. It's not my responsibility to cover them for their houses. So again,
Well, now it is.
no, like I said, as an individual user, how does this benefit me, who already has really good Wi-Fi coverage? And
Well, don't you have an Alexa?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're fine.
You have Google
Okay,
Home.
well-
What if they're next? Will you get rid of your home?
I already plugged it up. I already unplugged it.
He goes, it's already unplugged.
It's already unplugged. I don't really use any of it. It's sad that
Anyway.
the only privacy concern one is Siri, and it's the worst of them all.
We've got one more article,
like
one more large article I want to get to quick. We're already over time a little
okay.
bit, so let's get through this quick.
Let's go.
So General Motors, GM, is now contemplating selling car insurance.
Wait, what?
GM is probably going to be entering the car insurance market. So here's how it would work. All of their new cars are smart connected with OnStar, and the way that
Yeah.
this is kind of like marketed to work is they will be using your driving data through the OnStar system to automatically calculate and determine your driving habits, your risk ratings, and then give you a price based off of how you drive. Now, this is interesting. It's almost like that, like, remember it was like Progressive, put the safe drive monitor in your car, whatever.
Yeah,
blah, 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 right?
that's the first thing that came in my head. Yeah, the whole.
So I think
Yeah.
it's similar to that, except it's like already connected. There's no added steps. And like, I mean, I think if you're a good driver and don't mind them kind of like watching you drive essentially, like you could probably save some money that way. But here's where I see the problem arising with this. And this is kind of where my issue is from a privacy standpoint is, okay, it's one thing if you opt into it and you say, okay, you can watch me, I'll give you my insurance information. Now, what happens if GM just decides that they're going to collect it and then share that with the other insurance companies for a price?
They probably will.
Could we stop them? Is that outside of my
No.
privacy? Like, I mean,
No.
personally, I'd probably just disconnect the computer system in my car. I'd probably just find
Yeah,
the 4G
but-
antenna, whatever they're using, and just remove that. But like, that's me.
But-
Yeah, but like we've seen in the past, for it's kind of hard to do. It's we've entered the realm of right to repair and all this stuff
Mm-hmm.
where you may remove that 4G antenna, go for it. Now, how are you going to start up your car? GM's going to be like, oh, you can't start your car unless that thing's connected, right? Like, we've entered into this weird market where we're slowly losing control of products we're buying, and how the control is still staying with the corporations at the end of the day, and that's been like really, a pain in the ass lately, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what really comes out of this. But you're completely right. And do I trust GM in even preserving that data? Hell no. They're probably using Windows 2008 server, and I could probably patch into it right now. But it's
crazy.
This is like the realm we've really come to, right?
Yep.
Data privacy, as we see it, is hard, and it's supposed to be maintained with the user. So honestly, the best thing you can do for data privacy is just be mindful of who you're giving information to. But my main question here is that if I opt out of whatever GM offering me this insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I buy a Chevy, whatever it is, right? And that's owned by GM. So what happens? Like, are they still collecting my driving habits and my driving information, giving it to my insurance company?
I don't know. This is what worries me.
Like, what's going on here, right? Like, this was like the whole COVID detection thing we talked about with Amazon, right? Like, they can actually embed that in Alexa, and you coughing, right, will let them know that, hey, you got COVID, right? Like, great, that's great, but who's that information shared to, right? Like, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered on this.
I've seen some cases like, for example, we had a friend from we used to go to school with, and he kind of like modded his cars and whatnot, and he was telling me how he wanted to replace the computer system on his car because he wanted to upgrade it, and he could not reliably do that without his car not being able to pass an inspection. If he was to replace that computer with a custom one, the car would no longer pass inspection, so he could not do that. And I think to me, that is absolutely egregious. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't require the standard car computer to pass inspection. It just doesn't make sense.
I think this goes back to the whole Apple argument I've done before. Once you start adding custom components, they can't reliably, they use the defense, they can't reliably ensure the satisfaction or safety of the product. And thus, it starts to get a huge headache when you want to, like, claim insurance or claim any warranty on the car or anything, because it'd be like, hey, you changed it. So it has to be like a clear-cut thing. Like, if you want to do that, go ahead, but you avoid every warranty, any help from us.
Well, we're talking about, in this case, this is like a 15-year-old car. There's no warranty to be had. There's nothing there. It's all on him at that point.
I guess I can also argue that insurance companies who insure him also don't want to get into the headache of, like, well, what if the computer aided in the crash, or if he has, or some shit, or you know how insurance companies are, they want to be insured. So that's still going to be their defense. Is it like a legal defense? Is it a proper defense? I don't know. I don't really understand.
Well, hold up now. We're talking about two different things, all right? Your car inspection doesn't really have all that much to do with your insurance. Like, they're kind of separate things. Your car inspection is government regulated. You just have to get it inspected to ensure safety standards.
True,
as long
but
as the safety standards are met, who cares about computers in the car?
True, but you can't get an insurance without a proper inspection cleared through. And I highly doubt, how with especially the way things work out, I highly doubt these companies are not have some sort of influence or lobbying how these car inspections regulations are being set. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There's definitely a sphere of influence going on, and they definitely probably at one point expected that everything has to be standard, so we know what's going on. That's what I'm saying. So there's some attachment behind that.
All right, real quick, give us a couple sentences and let's wrap up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a really shitty thing. I think we've really entered. I think Apple was the first to start it, but now that they've seen Apple's proof of concept, I think every major corporation, whether it's Google, Apple, Amazon, GM, whatever it may be, right?
I think Tesla scares me the most out of all of them because they have so much control over their cars.
Tesla's a great example. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tesla's a great example, right? Like, everything I think we're going to be starting to buy as consumers in the future is going to slowly be, you could think of it as like a rental agreement.
Yep.
Where we own it, we own the box or product or whatever it may be, but all the control of that product is still in the hands of the corporation at the end of the day, right?
Of course. So it hits us harder than you think. I mean, just look at any everyday product, any streaming service you have, and even games digitally service of that caliber. You don't really own it. You're
hell, your computers. I mean, look at your computers, right? Unless you're on a Linux Ubuntu where you could really control things yourself, and even then, you still upgrade it, right? Like, you're succumb to all the Mac updates if you have a Mac, or all the Windows updates if you have Windows, if you want to run those applications and stuff like that, right? So it's
Very
it's
true.
a really shitty situation and a really really bad road. I think we're going to be walking towards, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have to see what happens here.
Cool.
I think knowing a capitalist economy, I think we will see other products come about that give you your free control back.
Yep, I agree.
But I don't know
It's
how
gonna be
long
it's
or
gonna
when
be
that will actually be.
it's gonna be an uphill battle for those companies.
Mhm.
I agree.
Anyway, guys, this has been Techcast number 18 with the 429 podcast. Thank you for listening.
Thank you
We
guys.
hope you will tune in next week and enjoy the rest of your Black Friday shopping and
Take care, guys.
start of the Christmas season and holiday season.
Yeah. I already put up the tree. It's all coming all together.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Catch you soon.
Take care, guys.
Bye, Al.